So maybe you already have a house and you're trying to figure out how to actually sell it and move into another home. This is the video for you. So I'm Larissa, I'm a Washington State Realtor, and one of my favorite things is helping families move into their second home. Oftentimes that first home is just not the perfect fit for you, and you're trying to figure out how to sell that, which is a huge asset. Maybe you need the down payment, and move into something that's going to suit your family or your lifestyle a little bit better. Now, if that is your situation, it can start out by feeling really, really daunting because you're not really sure how to sell your home. Maybe you're not really sure where you're moving to yet, but the point is starting small. So we're gonna take little baby steps together to actually get to your goal. The very first thing is you have to start early with your realtor. Don't go into this process of looking at homes and figuring all this out before you figure out what you're doing with your specific home. I have a couple recommendations on your specific home, so let's dive into that first, and then we'll talk about the home search on the other side. So with your home, I always highly encourage my clients to try to figure out if they can rent it. If they're able to rent the home and maybe they can pull a HELOC to grab some of those equity out, or they just don't need that and they can purchase one without, they're able to rent it though, that is such a great way for you to build long-term wealth in real estate. If renting, however, is not an option for you, there's a couple different ways we're able to help you sell your property and move into the next. The first way to do that is by having a contingency plan, which means we've gotten your home ready to go on the market, and as soon as we find the next home, we purchase it as a contingent property on your sale. We put your home on the market, we get it sold, you move, and it all happens at the same time. That is probably the most traditional way that we see people moving into the next home. However, it can feel really chaotic. There's a lot of moving parts, and if you have young kids or pets in the home, it can be really, really challenging, if not impossible, depending on your lifestyle. So the next way that we will do this for people is allowing them to purchase the home by either using a bridge loan, or if they can qualify for the next home without selling theirs first, we do it simultaneously, but we don't have a contingency plan. Let me dive into that a little bit more so I can give you a couple tips on that. So let's say you are able to purchase the next home, meaning you can technically get pre-approved for it, but you don't like the monthly payment, you certainly don't want 2 monthly payments, and you are planning on selling your home. If that is the case, what we're going to do is, like before, get your home ready to sell, but we're not gonna put it on the market just yet. We're gonna secure the next property that you want to purchase, start that process, and as it's moving, then we are going to ease into putting your home on the market. Keep in mind, the new home you purchase is going to likely close before your old one closes. So you might be thinking, well, what am I gonna do with the down payment? How am I gonna make that work? I can't have this crazy high monthly payment over here and a second mortgage, but just wait a second. So when you purchase a new home, let's say you purchase in May. You're not actually gonna have a payment for 2 months. So that buys us that much more time to get your home on the market and sold. We now have 2+ months to do that, which should be plenty of time depending on the market you're in. And of course, that is always something we're gonna have a conversation about before we ever start this process. In Washington State, the market times tend to be pretty low. If you are in Washington State, feel free to reach out to me because that is exactly where I'm at, and I can help you figure out your plan there. Now, this new home, again, if it closes in May, you won't have a payment until July. So you've got a couple months there to kind of breathe easy. The other thing to keep in mind is you're able to re-amortize a loan by effectively recasting. It's called recasting the loan, and it allows you to apply a down payment after you own it. So let's say you purchase in May, you now get your property sold in June, and now you have your large lump sum of equity. Let's say it's $200,000. That's a big amount, right? And you don't want to just hold on to it. You can actually take that $200,000, apply it to the new mortgage, reduce the new mortgage balance, and they will recast your loan, recalculate the amortization table, give you a new payment, and that is your new payment as of July or maybe August, but that's your new payment moving forward. So it happened very similarly to if you were to do all of this at the same time, except you're just putting the pieces together a little bit in a different order. One thing to keep in mind with this, you do take on a little bit more risk, right? You are assuming that all of this happens in perfect timing, and if it doesn't, we want to make sure you have enough of a nest egg on your finances to not run into any issues with, if there is a 1 month delay, can you handle the double payment maybe one time? That, of course, we would all sort out ahead of time, so you shouldn't run into it with any concern, but it is something to definitely consider. So you have really those two main options. I also mentioned having a bridge loan, which could be an option for you as well, and that would just be something I would want you to vet out with a local lender to know if that is the right scenario for you. Of course, I do highly recommend renting, and if renting, again, is not an option for you, then we're just gonna steer clear of that. Now let's talk about actually preparing your home for sale and searching for the next one. In the preparation preparation, we're probably gonna start doing this a couple months before we are ready to actually start searching for homes. We're going to get you everything you need to prepare your home for market, any staging that we potentially need to do, decluttering or depersonalization. All of that prep work is gonna get done. We're also gonna do photos and have you really ready to go, and potentially even starting your packing so you can do your move a little bit smoother. On the purchase side, we're gonna dive into everything you're looking for so that you know exactly what you're going to move into. And sometimes that second home shopping takes a lot longer. We might see that we're looking for 6 months to a year where we're prepped, we're ready to go, but we just don't really know when the right property is gonna pop up. So that is something to keep in mind too, that when you are looking to move into something larger or just something different for your family, it could take a little bit longer than when you were originally shopping for your first home, because your wants and needs list is probably grown. So keep that in mind. Again, we are not likely in a 1 to 2 month process. This might be a 6+ month or more long process for moving into your next home. If you have questions specifically about your situation, if you're trying to figure out how to make this work around your specific family, maybe there's pets, maybe you have a farm and you've got to figure this out with larger animals, whatever that case may be, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to brainstorm with you and see how I might be able to help you make your move in Washington State.